Welcome to the Empower Enterprise introductory tutorial. The aim of this video is to introduce you to the main functions of the application to put you on the fast track creating more attractive presentations. When you start PowerPoint, you first see an introductory screen where you can choose either to create a new presentation or to open an existing presentation from the Empower library. Let's start with a new presentation. First, Empower displays all the company masters that are available to select. Like all templates and slides, these are stored in a central database, so they are always up to date. Before we get going, let's look briefly at the structure of Empower. The application integrates directly into PowerPoint as an extra menu bar. On the far left, we can see various functions that affect the whole presentation, such as New Presentation from a Template, Apply Master, Send selected slides, or change language centrally. Then there's the company library of ready-made slides, images, and presentations. In the center, you can find a number of customized formatting bars for fonts and colors. And you can also use ready-made charts, tables, and text elements in a sort of slide construction kit. Finally, Empower has many useful layout tools. But back to our example. You often start a presentation with a table of contents to define the structure of the presentation. The agenda wizard in Empower does this job for us. Just enter the various agenda items and it's done. Empower automatically generates the appropriate number of agenda slides with the right chapter highlight. If we want to make changes later, we can do that via the agenda wizard too. Now our presentation needs some content. And this is where the Empower library comes into play. The library can be opened directly from PowerPoint, and this is what it looks like. On the left is a folder structure. The individual folders contain PowerPoint content. This can be slides, entire presentations, or just individual images. You can identify the type of content from the icon at the bottom right. The stars show the average rating of the slide, and you can click on the magnifying glass to preview the object before adding it to your presentation. The bar at the bottom displays details about the selected object: the author, when the element was created, when it was last modified, how useful you personally rate the element, and how often the element has been used across the company. To add one or more elements, all we need to do is hold down the Control key and click on the elements we want to select and add them. Alternatively, of course, you can use the intelligent Google type search to find content in the library. Just enter the search term and all the hits will be displayed. Empower intelligently searches all the content on a slide, weighs them by frequency, prominence, and number of links, and the average rating. This means we see all the hits sorted by relevance exactly the same as on Google. We can also refine the result by then excluding certain folders. If you are using different masters within a presentation, they can be adapted really easily using the master function. If you have no luck finding anything useful in the library, you can of course create your own slide as usual. Empower helps us here too. For example, if we copy an existing text from a website into the presentation, we can easily put it into the format we want using the text elements function. We can also add perfectly formatted diagrams at the click of a button. Then all we need to do is edit the data source behind it. This means we don't waste any time formatting diagrams and only need to concentrate on the content. In addition to adding ready-made diagrams, you can also apply formatting to existing diagrams. Empower also has a lot of useful elements such as hover balls, traffic lights, and process chains that can be added and edited at any time. Empower also gives us a helping hand when it comes to formatting content and text. For instance, the fonts, font sizes, and colors are restricted to those defined in the corporate design. And if you want to play it safe, we can run Empower's integrated corporate design check, which really does check everything in our presentation against these specifications. Once we have created a new slide, of course, there's always the option to make it available to other users in the company. To do this, just click on Add Slide, give the slide a name, and select a folder. The slide is now immediately visible in the library and available to all staff. Another situation is when we want to update an existing slide in the database. Let's take our client references slide, for example. One of our reference customers has a new logo. We click on Add Slide again to update the slide. Empower now recognizes that this slide already exists in the database and gives the opportunity to update it. We could also create a new instance of the slide, but you would only do this if the content of the slide is very different from the original slide rather than an update. In our case, therefore, all we need to do is click on Update and it's done. If another user now opens an old presentation from his or her hard disk that contains this reference slide, a notification will be displayed when it opens. The user can then decide for him or herself whether to use the update or to continue using the existing slide. In our case, we want to update the slide. This mechanism also works in the same way for presentations, masters, and elements. So that's the end of our introduction to Empower, and we've only just scratched the surface. Why not try out Empower for yourself? It really is incredibly easy to use and will immediately save you a huge amount of time when you are creating presentations. Guaranteed.